factory is in a residential neighborhood, so a lot of people are being affected by these flames. As mentioned, at one point, hundreds were out of their homes. News 8's Brian Spiros live in Bridgeport now with more on how people in that neighborhood are coping today. Brian.
Well, good afternoon, Keith. Good afternoon, everyone. Right now, we are standing along Seaview Avenue, and for the people who live on this road, they will tell you this fire was too close for comfort. That's because they live only feet away from where that factory stood. You can see the charred remains of this building, which is now destroyed. Crews still dousing those hot spots that continue to flare up. And for many of the people who live in the area, they did not get a good look at all of the damage until the sun came up early this morning. The scene in Bridgeport looked like something straight out of a Hollywood action film, between all the smoke, flames, and explosions.
It is definitely something out of a movie.
Yes, it was explosions. It was shaking the house. Boom! Boom! Really hard.
Unfortunately for the people across the street from the Rowayton Trading Company, they got a front row seat to it all.
I smelled the smoke and I came outside and it just toppled from there on. Like it was outrageous.
I go outside, I was like, oh my goodness, flames everywhere. And then as soon as I got outside, I heard a boom and ashes like flew up into the air and went everywhere.
The scene looks much different now. Crews spent all morning dousing hot spots that kept lighting up. The building completely destroyed. The fire broke out at the factory a little before 7 last night. A short time later, some 400 people had to be evacuated from the area. Just to give you an idea of how intense this fire was, the heat reached well across the street to these neighboring homes, melting their siding.
Yeah, you could feel the heat. You could feel the heat. I don't know if that affects your body in any way, but yeah, it was dangerous.
The people who live right along Seaview Avenue weren't let back into their homes until early this morning after spending the night with family and friends.
To see the water still being put down on the fire, that just scares me.
At one point, United Illuminating had to cut power to some 1,400 customers in the area while crews battled the blaze. And once again, taking a live look at the charred remains of this factory. 17 hours after this fire started, again, crews are still dousing the hot spots. Now, as I had just mentioned, at one point last night, the power had to be shut off in this area because of concerns with water and wires. At one point, 1,400 customers were without electricity. That number has since gone down drastically. About 130 customers right now are without power. That is expected to be basically reconnected for them sometime by 5 o'clock this afternoon. That, according to the United Illuminating's website. That is the very latest. We're reporting live from Bridgeport. Brian Spiros, News 8.
Brian, thank you. News 8 did some digging into the factory where that giant fire broke out. The company is the Rowayton Trading Company, and according to their website, it's based out of Rowayton, but they also have an office in Norwalk. Their website says they ship chemicals and raw materials, including fragrances, oils, dyes, and silicons, to destinations around the world. They've been doing it for some 30 years. The factory, again, is on Seaview Avenue. It is 2 blocks away from Warren Harding High School and Bridgeport Hospital as well. And you might recall there was a very big fire at the Remington Arms Factory about a month ago in that very same neighborhood. In fact, just a couple of blocks away. We'll have much more on this story coming your way tonight on News 8 at 5.